Good morning, children. Welcome back to your psychology class. Okay, we'll continue with the post-freudian approach. Here we have, these are those people who have worked with Sigmund Freud, but they would disagree with certain aspects. So they have developed their own theory. One of them was the Carl Jung, who said that, all our personality issues are not only related to a sexual and aggression part, but it is other human qualities are also important for energizing our energizing our personality, and that includes your spiritual, intellectual, creativity part, which he called it as a archetype. Okay, that was a Carl Jung's theory. An archetype here means like God, Mother, Mother Earth, and all those aspects. Okay. Now, the second theory is of Karen Harney's theory. She has emphasized more on the social culture factor and less biological factor. She said that when the child has some some disturbed interpersonal relationship, that will affect the personality of a child in the later age, and the child become very hostile towards the parents or the world. Okay, the next theory is of Alfred Adler theory. It is also called as individual psychology because he said that we all move towards our personal goal, and during achieving those personal goal, we develop certain inferiority complex. Okay, so if we will, try to overcome this complex, then we develop our personality. Okay, similarly, Eric Fromm has said that his theory is social oriented relationship. He's emphasized on those aspects. He said that we all strive for desire for freedom, justice and truth. So he has understood the person in relation to his social life. He viewed the human being as a basis of social being, could be understood in terms of relationship with others. Okay, that was in Eric Fromm's theory. And the last was Erik Erikson's theory. Erik Erikson's theory was the search for identity. He has emphasized more on the search for identity, especially in the adolescent age. He said that we all strive for our, identity, especially in the age of adolescent age. And if we will, give a right guidance to an adolescent, then he will have a better personality in future. Okay, Sigmund Freud theory was criticized for many things. So this question comes in board also, so you can take that. His theory has been criticized because he has worked, he has emphasized more on a small sample kind. Like he said, his focus is more on the male type rather than the female. He says that all our, unconscious desires, sexuality and aggression is responsible for our personality. So here, he has overlooked female experiences and perspective. And also, his theory was not very scientifically tested, and it is on a small sample, which was not very satisfying. Okay. Apart from this, there is one more approach to understand the personality, which is called as behavioral approach. Okay, now behavioral approach, we have studied this earlier also. It means that how do you respond to your environment, right? The stimuli is it is measured in terms of your behavior. Okay, so under this theory, we can understand these behavioral approach with three theories which we have already learned in class 11th. That is of classical conditioning, instrumental conditioning, and observational learning, right? So that Bandura's experiment, which says that we all learn with the imitation and whatever is, with modeling and whatever we see around us, right? And classical conditioning and instrumental conditioning says that, with the interaction with the environment, there are certain conditions which is developed, because of which we develop certain personality and certain approach towards life, right? And reinforcement helps to motivate us towards it. Okay, so these three theories, if you will read again, you will be able to understand the behavioral approach. Okay, please go through these three theories and you will understand what is behavioral approach. Now coming to cultural approach, Cultural approach includes the understanding of personality in relation to ecological and cultural environment. Okay, here, ecological here means that, the way you're staying. If a person is staying in a mountainary areas, he will be adapted to that environment. The lifestyle will be according to that. Okay, so your ecological aspect along with the way in which you have been brought up, your cultural aspect. To understand this, in this book, in your textbook, on page number 40, there is a comparison of two families. One is a hunter family of Jharkhand, tribal group, and another is a farmer's family. So how a farmer family will, brought up a child, they will try to develop certain qualities like, respect for elders, love for young ones, your duties, responsibilities, that is more emphasized. However, when we talk about, tribal community, hunter family, they will try to make their child more independent, courageous and brave, so that he can independently, more autonomous, he can independently find his food, he can survive. Okay, so the culture where you are staying, the family, culture, ecological aspect are responsible for the development of personality. Okay, now next approach is a humanistic approach. To understand the humanistic approach, we have to understand two theories in it. One is of Carl Rogers theory and second is of Maslow's theory. Okay, Maslow's theory we have already studied in class 11, and agar aapko pata ho, it has been said that we all try to attain self actualization, right? So he has also given a pyramid of need where he says that first need is of biological needs, then comes the then we have security needs, and then we have a self-esteem need, belongingness need, and then ultimately a self-actualization need. So that is a Maslow's theory, that we all move towards self-actualization. Similarly, Carl Rogers has also given his theory. He says that this idea was proposing that fully functioning person, right? He believed that we all move towards self-actualization and try to use maximum potential of us, right? So to understand this, he has said that there are two concept in us, that is the ideal self and the real self. Okay, real self is what you are, the ideal self is what you want to become. Okay, if there are a lot of disparities between your ideal self and real self, then you get unsatisfied with the thing, right? You get disappointed with the life, right? It's develop anxiety, depression, and all those aspects. And if it is congruent, self concept and your experience goes hand to hand, then you are quite happy with the life, satisfied with the life. Okay, so this is Carl Rogers theory, which says that we are goal directed and we prepare our goal in such a way that we can self actualize ourselves. But however, there should be congruency between your self concept and the experience you are gaining. Okay, and that means your ideal self and real self should be it should be in line. Okay, yeah, you should try to achieve that. If you get lot of disappointment in achieving your ideal self, sometimes you get unsatisfied with the thing, distressed with the thing, you're not happy with the life. Okay, so this is Carl Rogers theory. So you have to read the box 2.3, which says that who is a healthy person. So it is in this box it has been said that if you live in your present, try to have a positive approach towards the thing. If you're not stuck with the thing, then you can move on with your life in a good way. You're a healthy person. Always try to be in the present. Okay, I'm ending my lecture over here. Probably in the next topic, assessment of personality, we'll do in the next class. Thank you, children.